What's up, guys? My name's Colt, and today we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics, and that's how to make your money work harder and go further for you. And it's a strategy that I've used for the last 6 years now that have really helped change my financial path. And ironically, I know only 41%, according to the Federal Reserve, only 41% of Americans are even using this strategy. So I know there's a lot of you out there that this is really going to help. As shocking as it may seem, 29% of our population in the United States say that they don't even make enough money to cover normal expenses. 17% of them say they can't even pay their bills in full each month. And 15% say that they actually spend more money than they actually make each and every year. Which I would argue that it could be a lot more, because we as a nation are $13.95 trillion in consumer debt as of the third quarter of 2019. So to put it in terms that you might be able to wrap your head around, because it's a big number even to me, that equates to $43,594 per U.S. citizen. Not household, citizen. So before we get started, real quick, do me a favor and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and also tap the notification bell so that you're notified each and every time I come out with a new video. Just by hitting the like button alone really helps with the YouTube algorithm, and it really helps to build this channel, so I greatly appreciate it. So here's the deal. If you stay until the end of this video, I'm going to give you a free tool that I created, and no, it's not going to cost you your email address or any other thing like that. It's literally going to be a link that you can go to and you download it right away. So I don't believe in the links with email addresses. It just kind of feels salesy to me, and I'm not really into that. So if you stick around, I promise you, you're going to get the one thing that I use that helped me change my financial future. So by the end of this video, when you download that free tool, if you think it's just amazing and it helps you out, the best way you can repay me is just leave a comment down below that says amazing gift. That would help so much. So with that, guys, let's get right into it. So what's the one tool that literally gave me a raise? It's the budget. It's the dreaded B word. I know, it's the budget. So if you're thinking about clicking alpha here and getting out because you already do a budget, I promise you, I thought I knew how to do a budget until just recently, and we've been doing it for 6 years. See, just this year alone, my wife and I have been able to go through our budget and cut unnecessary expenses and really drop our budget down with a fine-tooth comb over $3,450. So if I got basically an extra $3,400 every single month, that to me is a raise. And if somebody like us can be doing budgets for such a long time, 6 years, and still have those kind of dramatic results when it comes to doing the budget properly, I'm pretty sure that you might be able to do the same. So hey, like my friend Dave Ramsey says, if you don't like calling it a budget, just call it an allocated spending plan. So real quick, let's talk about some benefits of actually doing a budget. Well, first thing is it gives you 100% control over your monthly expenses. You see, John Maxwell says having a budget is telling your money where to go instead of you wondering where it went. It also lets you keep track of your financial goals. There's nothing better than having your goals written out on paper or on the computer in this case, so that you can track and see the progress towards getting to achieve that goal. Thirdly, budgeting will open your eyes to wasteful spending. Now this one's the one that hit home for us. Like I said, we saved over $3,400 a month just on wasteful spending. Now I know some of you are like, man, if I just had $3,400 a month to live off of, that would be great. So imagine having that as extra like we found in our lives. Another benefit is it's actually going to organize the things that you spend your money on. Any leftover from any category in your budget, if you're like us, you want to go ahead and put that towards any investments that you can grow into passive income. So we take anything that's left over, and all of that money at the end of the month gets tucked into a money market account and gets set aside until we're ready to buy another asset that's going to produce us more passive income. Having a budget also helps with building an emergency fund. Now, if you follow Dave Ramsey, he's going to tell you to have an emergency fund, or at least a starter emergency fund, of $1,000 before you start tackling debt. Now, I would recommend, since we just came out of COVID and we got hit by the financial lockdowns and everything like that, that you save until you have at least 1 month of expenses. That way, if anything happens with your job, you're covered. Another benefit is it actually allows you to pay down your debt quicker. Again, kind of like the investment capital thing that I told you about, with anything left over, you'll do the same thing with your debts. So if you've built up your emergency fund of that 1 month that I just mentioned, then what I would do, anything left over, instead of putting it towards investment capital, I would throw that at the debt first to pay down your debts. So overall, it's just going to allow you to have a less stressful life. Now, I'm not saying you won't have any stress, but you won't have to wonder where your money's going when your bills are due and how much those bills are, because you're going to have it already planned out in writing. So let's go ahead and hop on the computer, and I'm going to walk you through exactly how I do my budget. And again, if you stay towards the end, I'm going to give you that budget absolutely free, no emails required. So let's go ahead and jump on in. All right, everyone. So this is the budget that I use on a monthly basis. Now, the numbers in this budget they're just examples, so don't pay too much attention to them. I literally just went through, made an example budget just to give you a context of what it's like when it's all put together and how I use it. So it's just a simple Excel spreadsheet. Well, it's like Excel because it's on Google Sheets, but it's just basically an Excel spreadsheet that you can come in, and if you want to add a line, say you have different utility, I don't know, you can right click and then just go one below or one above. Let's just go below on this one, and then it's going to add a blank line. So you can just say extra utility, I don't know, so whatever you got. Let's say it's an extra $45 a month. You'll notice the subtotal right here is $540 at this point before we added this 45. So once I hit enter, then it changes this new subtotal to $585. And then it adds up down here at the bottom as well. So all your total expenses will add up to be this. So that's pretty cool. We'll just take this out for right now. Well, before we do that, this is the budgeted line, okay? And then this is what you actually spent. So when you pay the electric bill of $110, you come in here, hit 110, enter. And then what I do, I like to right click on this. Actually, it's left click. And I come up here to this little bucket, fill color, and I make it yellow. That just gives me a visual that says that I've already paid that. It's completely done. Okay, let's say down here on family clothing. Let's say we went out and we spent $23 on family clothing. Well, that's not filled yet, so I would not mark that yellow because there's still money remaining there. Your savings rate, it tracks how much you're saving in this column right here out of all three of these, your emergency fund, investment capital, retirement fund. It equals up to $600. So that's $600 divided by the total income you got coming in for the month. So that's, in this example, $6,000. So $600 divided by 6,000 is 10%. So you at least want to maintain a savings rate of 10% if you ever want to get ahead with your finances, if you ever want to build any wealth. So that's got to be your minimum. Now, I know a couple of you or a few of you guys are saying, well, there's no way I can save 10%. And honestly, my wife and I, we couldn't do that either when we first got started. So what we did instead is we just said 1%. So then you're talking $60 a month. And 1%, I promise you, unless you're really in a bad situation with your finances, 1% you could probably scrape out. And then what we did each and every month is we just raised it 1%. So this month would be 1%, next month would be 2%, next month after that 3%, and so on and so forth. You want to see if you can at least get up to 10%. So that needs to go back in an emergency fund until that is full. And with an emergency fund, people like Dave Ramsey recommend $1,000 for your starter emergency fund, and then you go to pay off debt. Well, my thought behind that is right now we just came out of COVID lockdowns, and everybody in the world just kind of got smacked upside the head with this. So, you know, that conventional wisdom of $1,000 before you get started with paying off debt To me, that's just not a good enough safety net. So what I would recommend, and this is just my personal opinion, but I would recommend at least 1 month worth of expenses before paying down the debt. So I would want 1 month, preferably 2 months worth of expenses paid for in my emergency fund, and then I would start on debt. Shoot for 10% until you get the investment or the emergency fund done, and then after you get the emergency fund done, what I would do, anything extra, now keep in mind you're still paying yourself 10%, okay, for your investment capital. That 10% never goes away. That's just my personal feeling, okay? Now Dave Ramsey would say put that 10% towards debt. Well, I like Robert Kiyosaki's way of thinking when it comes to this, and I'd rather pay myself first, build up assets that are going to pay me later, because if I pay off all the debt right now, yes, it saves me some interest, but what do I have to gain when the debt's gone? I don't really have anything. Now, if I build up some capital and buy an asset that helps pay me passive income each and every month, then I have something to show for that money each and every month. So, build the emergency fund, and then start saving towards your investment capital. So if you come all the way down here, you'll see that we're left with a $98 balance or remaining. So that's left to be budgeted. Now you want this to say 0, okay? Now you don't just click on it and put 0. That's not the point of this budget. But what you want to do is take this $98 and you want to put it into a category. Now since we have debt in this example, what you want to do is take this $98 and put it on the smallest payment right here. And so that $98 just gets added. So that's 176.04, and voila. Now we got the $98 going up here to this credit card, and you have a zero-based budget. So put all your income in here. If you got a husband, just name it husband's income, wife's income, whatever. If you have a second job, you can add, if you're both bringing in money each month, you can add an income. So just insert one below. And we'll call this side job, whatever you want. Let's say you're making an extra $800 a month from that. That kicks you up to $800. Whenever you get paid, you bring this in. So if you get paid bi-weekly and you bring in $1,500, that check, just put it in. Everything that you spend and bring in is over here on this side. Okay, this is just a debt snowball. So this allows you to keep track of your monthly balances on everything. So you'll notice in the debt snowball up here, there is no mortgage. And the reason for that is the mortgage is right here. So that's already incorporated into your debt. But all your other debts are listed down here as far as balances and then what their minimum payments are. So again, this is just an example. Now, something that I like to track my monthly, and I try to track all my active income. So active income is income that you work for. Then you have your expenses. Hopefully you're living below your means and your expense line should be lower. You have your savings rate. So how much are you saving each month? And then you got your passive income. So the cool thing is this allows you to track when your passive income exceeds your active income, and that's when you are financially free. So as you can see in the examples up here, every month we just brought in $6,000 and the expenses are $5,400. So you might think, well, I thought the budget was $6,000. Well, it is. If you add expenses plus your savings rate, savings are not expenses. So your savings rate goes into this category, your expenses go into this category. These two might not equal to this because you might be bringing in some passive income each and every month, which in turn you just reinvest. You just put it back into investments. Okay, so eventually over time, and I just kind of compounded these and exaggerated it just so you'd see an example, but we start off slow on the passive income as we're investing each and every month, and then over time the passive income comes in more and more each month as we go along. So just go ahead and put in those numbers and everything that meets your criteria, and you'll be good to go. So coming back here on the personal tab, we'll go up to the top. What I do each and every month is I just come up here to File, make a copy, and then I will save it in the same folder that I put it in. So I got 2020 folder, last year was 2019 folder, and all I will do is just name it whatever month. So September 2020. And then I will save that and share it with the exact same people. So if you got a spouse that you share your budgets with, save it with the same people or share it with the same people and mark OK. And then you are good to go. So do that each and every month to start a new budget. That way you can share it with your spouse or whoever you're working your finances with. Then just go in and update all these, zero these back out. Just make sure anything bold, don't touch those, because as you can see up here, they all have a formula that they're following, so that when you mark something in the unbold category, then it automatically populates. So down in the description below, you're going to see a Google Drive link, and I'll never know if you've clicked on it or if you've even seen it, whatever, because it's literally just a website that you click on, and it's going to take you to this blank YouTube budget. It's just going to pull it up. It's going to be just like this at the top here. Okay, you'll see that it's all zeroed out. All you have to do is come in and make your very own budget. Put in your debts down here, put in your income, put in any debts that you got that you want to pay off in your debt snowball. For further debt snowball strategies, look up Dave Ramsey and go from there. So I hope this is helpful, guys. And on the chart tab, you can fill in these numbers as well and track that if you want. So I know for some of you guys, I'm now your new best friend because you love numbers, and some of you others, you are glazing over right now. But I hope this helps. All right, so hopefully by now you see the importance of doing a monthly budget each and every month before the next month begins. The best thing you can do if you're married and have a spouse is do what Dave Ramsey calls the budget committee meeting and getting 100% in agreement on where your money is going to go for the month. So check out the Google link in the description below. And real quick, I know I didn't cover this in the little on-screen training video, but when you open that up, immediately go to File and make a copy, and then save a copy for yourself. Do not make any changes to the one that you just downloaded, because that's going to change the whole file for everybody, and then I'll have to go back and redo that. So open up the link, go to File, make a copy, and then you're good to go. If you have any questions, guys, please feel free to reach out to me. Leave a comment down below, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have. And if you found this video to be absolutely impactful and valuable in your life, and you like this budget that I just gave to you for absolutely free, return the favor, and all you got to do, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, tap the notification bell, and until then, I'll see you guys next time.